In this video, we are going to explore further in Ansible Playbook. What should be the recommended manner in which you write your Ansible Playbook? How do we verify the syntax? What is the different way in which you can write the list? How do you verify or find out which modules should you be using in order to achieve a specific task? So let's get started. In my previous video, we have seen how to write a specific module. In here, you have to make a note of few important points. Is first, you have to start with dash, and then space is important. This specific name part is optional, but it is a good practice that whatever place that we write inside our playbook, we give it a name. And then on which host you want to run this playbook across, that we specify under our host. After host, we mention the colon and space is mandatory. Then we define the task. This complete part is a specific play within which you have different tasks. This task, since task is like a combination, so it is like a list. So we specify it using this dash and then again space. This space is very important here. And then this is the module that I'm going to run under one of my tasks. And in this module, I'm going to specify the attributes like this. So this way of writing is mentioned as a short form notation. So ideally, we have a better way to write this same code. Let us see, when we are writing a specific task, what this task is performing. How would we know? When somebody else, you have written a playbook, but what is it that actually it is performing? The various tasks which are involved inside the playbook, what output it is giving. So for somebody who has not written it, and if he's trying to go through the code, it will be more convenient if you give the tasks a name. So how do I specify a name? Again, under the task, I have to use dash space, the name, and then the what is it that it is performing. And under this name and package should follow the same indentation. Then again, this will be acting like a key, and this part is your value. This has to follow the same indentation. Then the second part in the task also has to start with dash, and this the name. Then what is it performing? And similar to this, we follow the same syntax. But again, there is another optimized manner in which we can, this is just a best practice which you follow, specifying the name of each of the tasks. This again also is mentioned as short form notation, but we would have to mention this in a better manner. That is the default full notation, which is something like this. So in here, what we do is we just specify the name, the package, and whatever we have mentioned here, this we mention as a child of this specific entry, package. So in here we have package, then it is our name, state. This again will follow the same context as any other entry key value pair which you have mentioned earlier. But this specific part comes on inside package. So you have to write it with further indentation with respect to the parent. These will be like the child attributes for which the parent is the package. And similarly, we are going to follow for the second task as well, name, copy, and then source and destination is going to be acting like the child attributes for your copy. And in this, for starting the service, the name and state are going to act as the child attributes for the service. So indentation has to be furthermore with respect to the parent. And whenever you write the place, the main thing to note is the order in which you have written the play, because Ansible will be executing all these different plays in the order in which you have mentioned it. So it is very important to write it in a specific order if you want it to be executed in that order. Now let's have a look. This is the specific code that we have written. This is our play. In this specific play, we have mentioned a specific host. So in here you see host all. So this all basically refers to a default group which specifies all the hosts mentioned inside your inventory. So this is my inventory file that I have created, and within which I have this specific host. So I can, as per my requirement, when you are running a specific playbook across different servers, so there could be a scenario wherein maybe, for example, you have written this specific play for configuration of web server deployment, but you do not want the same code to be executed across your database servers, because in inventory you could have multiple servers. So in that case, it is up to us. We can define the specific host across which I want the code to be executed. So in here, for example, I can, in my inventory, I can create two groups. So the way that I would write groups would be mentioning a specific name and then the complete IPs, the username and the password. And similar to this, I'm going to create another group. This will be my second group and mentioning all the IPs. So like this, I can group the different set of servers, and then according to this, I can write my plays. That play will be executing across which specific host. So for example, if I write for a play which has to be executed for my web servers, I'm going to mention hosts as web. Similar to this, I can write one more play and mention the host as my database. So that will be for configuration of my database servers. Now let us have a look further. When we write this specific code, which is our YAML code in the playbook, it is very important that we verify the syntax. But the question is, how do I verify? There are different ways. So you can even copy that specific contents of the file, and maybe you can go with the online YAML validator, or Ansible provides you with a default option, which is Ansible playbook. And with this specific option, you can run or validate the syntax of your file. So if you have created a YAML file for deployment, which is named as web1.yml, if the syntax is correct, so this specific option helps you verify the syntax. If the syntax is correct, it will give you an output like this. For some reason, if you have written the code something here and the syntax is not correct, then you might get an output saying there is an error. And which line has the error, it will also point you to that specific line. And you can check further what is the specific error that you have done in your line. Maybe the indentation is not correct. That is the main reason why you would get an error. So it is always a good practice to, before deploying it, you first verify the syntax. Whatever you have written, is the syntax correct? Then you also have a feature in Ansible to do a dry run. What does it mean when I say dry run? It basically means that even before actually executing your code, you will be able to test that when you run that code, what will be the output. So there is no change in your infrastructure done. It is just like a trial run. The way that you do trial run is using the command as Ansible -playbook with -C option. And then you specify your name. So in here, you would see a similar output as what you see when you run the code. But this will only show you, what kind of output you would observe. If you execute the code which is mentioned in this specific file, then it would be showing, okay, one specific item changed. So this is really a quite good feature, and in order to identify what that specific code will bring the different changes in our infrastructure. Now, at times you would also want to check various level of outputs in terms of when you are executing the code. So that is wherein verbosity of the output comes into picture. With respect to increasing the verbosity, there are different levels. For example, you can use -V icon. This will display the task results, or you can use -VV 2 times. This will display your task results as well as the task configuration, or you can use V 4 times or 3 times as well. If you run it 3 times, it would include the information and the connections which are being executed towards your managed host. If you run it 4 times, then it adds up additional verbosity with respect to the connection plugins. So let's have a look in terms of the output for all these 4 different options. So if you run your code with one -V option, you will see the output something like this. It is showing you what has changed. If you do it with 2 V's, you will see additional output, in the sense the specific path of the task as well, where exactly that is mentioned. So let's see, if we have 3 V's in our output, if we use 3 V's with the command, then it would also show me the output with respect to the connection establishment, the SSH connection which is being established from your from your control node towards the managed node. And if you use 4 times V's, then you would get additional outputs with respect to the plugins as well. Now, talking about the customizations or the specific lines that we add up to our playbook. If there is a need to give additional information within your playbook itself, maybe you want to give it a specific line mentioning additional details about that part of the code, then you can use comment. So when you are using comment, it is important that you use this hash symbol. An example would be, you would write hash and then whatever is your comment with respect to your code. And we have YAML string as well. So ideally, when you're writing a string within your YAML code, it would not require to be in quotes, but you can mention both in single quotes or double quotes. And we also have list. List is usually mentioned with respect to single dash. So in here we see we have host attribute which has different values. Ideally, in the previous examples, we would have seen hosts all. So if you want to run this specific play across some specific set of servers in which we have different values for our hosts, so we would mention the list with respect to dash, then your space is compulsory, and then the specific name or the IP address. And you can also mention it in this manner. So host with your bracket, and then with commas, you can specify the different servers across which you can deploy, you want the play to be run across. But the ideal way of doing would be via this format. This is more readable than this format. Even though you can make use of it, but this would be a recommended manner of writing the list in your YAML code. Now, we know that the main intelligence of our Ansible playbook or Ansible code is behind the modules. We make use of different modules to achieve different tasks. Now, question is, how do I find out a specific module? How many modules are there? Which module can I use for what purpose? Do I every time have to go to Ansible documentation and look for the details? The answer is no. The Ansible provides you with a command itself to find out a specific module. For example, you want to get a list of all the modules. So you can make use of command as ansible-doc space -L. This will give you a complete list of all modules, and these modules are for what purpose. And not only this, for example, you are trying to search a module with respect to a specific entity. Maybe you remember that it is something related to package. So an example would be, you can do a grep from the output of this for this package. So wherever package is mentioned, all those modules will be listed for you. Now, in this specific case, let's say I'm interested in package. I want to know the various parameters, the different attributes that I have to give with respect to this module. So I can again make use of the command as ansible-doc and then the package. This is my module name. When you run this specific command, you would get complete details of the module, what this module is doing, and the different options, which option is mandatory and what is it doing, what are the various values with respect to your specific attributes. So with this, we will wrap up this session. I hope you found this information useful. See you in the next session. Till then, stay tuned.